and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and His divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side, coming to you from smack dab in the middle of the fruited plain of the United States of America. Welcome to all of you. You're members of the most intellectually mature audience in podcast land if you watch this show, and dispensing truth today. Look, from the chaos that they have rained down upon us to the fundraisers and the freezing on stage, Barack Obama to the rescue to walk Biden off, Hillary Clinton looking like something out of a movie at the Tony Awards, and all of it being done right in front of our very eyes. The radical left absolutely knowing full well that 86%, I'm going to get to these numbers later in the show, 86% of you out there don't think that Biden's capable for another term in office, which begs the question, are they going to replace him? So we'll talk about that in a minute. First of all, though, DougBillings.us, the new website over there. We're going to be broadcasting the live show, the show live over there as well. All of the other social media platforms that I'm on, you guys that are lucky enough to be watching on X, on Rumble, on Facebook, on Truth Social, Locals, all of them, all of the ones I'm on, feel free. You can watch them. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe. But YouTube also, we're even over on YouTube after they tried to cancel us. So we appreciate you. The new show launched last week, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 o'clock Central Time. And we are very, very thankful to the people at worldviewtube.com for their help in producing the show, and for the good folks at Spreely TV who broadcast it to you. And we're also very excited that we get to talk with you live and in person. That's right. We take phone calls now. The number 901-316-8404. 901-316-8404. Get in line. The queue is open. We're going to be talking with you throughout the show today about the topics of the day, about what we're talking about here on the show. I can't wait to hear from you. So please get in line and have patience. You know, sometimes it might take me a minute or two to get to you, but I'll see your name. We'll talk to you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topics that we're going to discuss today. So, but again, DougBillings.us, the new website. Please head over there and check out the new website, DougBillings.us. You will notice over there, brand new layout, brand new format. There's a shop up there at the top. You can go shop for some health products. You can donate. I really would appreciate that. This is what I do for a living, ladies and gentlemen. So we're in this together, right? Standing shoulder to shoulder. Prayerfully consider a reoccurring monthly contribution donation to the program over there at DougBillings.us. $5, 10, 20, whatever you can afford. I know, hey, times are tough, but what is the truth really worth, right? It's the only place that you can get it. The legacy media certainly isn't delivering it to you any longer. And so we're very proud of the new website. We're happy to come to you live every day, and it costs. I'm not by nature, I'm not a salesperson. I don't like asking, but I've learned that you have to. So prayerfully consider a donation and a subscription over there at DougBillings.us. So, okay, let's dig into it here. So, you know, June 15th was just a couple of days ago, just Saturday, 2 days ago, right? June 15th, 2015, 9 years ago, Donald Trump comes down that golden escalator at Trump Plaza, right? You remember it? We're going to play the clip. I want to tell you about it, but you remember this, don't you? When he came down that great, beautiful escalator the day that he was going to announce his candidacy for president of the United States. There he is. Aren't we in need of him now? And thankfully, with every passing day, his popularity is surging. His chances to reclaim the White House increase thanks to your good efforts, And juxtapose what President Trump means against what we could have had Hillary Clinton won. I loved that scene. There it was 9 years ago. that video scene right there in Trump Tower. Take it all in. It was a good day. And it was, I think it's worth recalling how lucky we were that Hillary didn't make it into the White House. Just recall that. So 9 years ago today. Okay. Now, I mentioned Hillary. Also over the weekend, the liberals were busy this weekend. A lot of fundraisers, a lot of mutual admiration society events going on. But Hillary decided she was going to go and attend the Tony Awards in New York. Now, the Tony Awards audience, ladies and gentlemen, it's comprised of the membership of the coalition of immorality that makes up this commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party. So almost all of the people in that audience, in the celebrity class, support what Hillary represents, the radical, liberal, woke agenda that's been purposefully cast down upon us for these past 4 years. So Hillary is a member of the hierarchy of that coalition of immorality, right? And so when she makes an appearance in front of a crowd like this, of course, they're going to applaud loudly for her. We all get it. She's on friendly turf, and they were eating it up over the weekend at the Tony Awards. Take a look at this short clip. I think it just speaks for itself. Take a look. So there she gets this. It was a rousing round of applause because she's in her element. She's surrounded by members of the coalition of immorality, and that's the movement of which she, of course, is a member of the hierarchy. What the hell was she wearing? It's as if she might be auditioning for a role on Broadway. Who knows? The return of Mother Nature, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? The queen of climate change. That outfit. What? I don't get it. Are the pantsuits not fit? So collecting money as best they can. They're fundraising for Administrator Biden. And another member of the hierarchy of the Commune Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is out there on stage in front of a friendly audience. Another audience of the celebrity class, not in New York, but on the opposite coast. We have Barack Obama and Jimmy Kimmel raising money for Administrator Biden because they're a little concerned, as they should be, because President Trump has raised $500 million, $500 million since the phony kangaroo court and temporary verdicts came down out of New York City. So that's more money than Trump's made in 2016 and 2020 combined. $500 million rolling into the Trump coffers, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to sneeze at. But Jimmy Kimmel, Barack Obama, and Administrator Biden, all in Hollywood for a fundraiser. And if any of you have any doubt remaining in you who is actually in charge of the Biden White House, you should be fully on board now. I mean, if I've been talking about it for 4 years, it's not Biden. You know full well who it is. Remember, it was 5 years ago when Barack Obama appeared on the Stephen Colbert Show. And during the course of that interview, he said, and I'll paraphrase briefly here, he says something like, I like the thought of having a third term and I could have a microphone with an earpiece into whoever is in the White House, and I could whisper instructions, whoever the sitting president is. Well, there's no need for me to paraphrase because I have producer Logan in the background with the clip ready of the Colbert Show. So let's take a look. Clip number 3, Obama on the Stephen Colbert Show. See if you remember this one.
I've said this before. People would ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that because I found the work fascinating. I mean, I write about the even on my worst days, I found puzzling out, these big, complicated, difficult issues, especially if you were working with some great people.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to topics of power, liberals rarely, if ever, lie about it. At worst, they'll blend lies with the truth when they're talking about getting, having, or holding on to power. And there you had it in his own words. And he is not kidding, whispering into the ear of the president, right? He's doing it. He is actually doing it. Barack Obama running the show. Now, I've told you this for 4 years. This is nothing new for those of you who have been paying attention. He's working with really good people, right? Yeah. And by that, he means Hillary Clinton and people like Susan Rice. Susan Rice has an office in the West Wing. They're not secretive about this. You just have to look and see. Hillary Clinton says in her own words, she talks to the White House every day, quote unquote. It comes as no surprise to you folks. I get it. You are members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land. Over the weekend, Administrator Biden at that fundraiser that I mentioned earlier with the celebrity class, Hillary did her bit on the East Coast. Biden's doing his on the West. And it's all in this audience. It's the liberal, woke, coalition of immorality, celebrity class on Broadway, the actors and actresses and so forth. Now, not every single one of them are members of that group, but as we know, most of them are. And let me check that. I'm not convinced that most of them are. I think that the loud ones are, right? I'm convinced for every Hollywood or Broadway celebrity that you see speaking up for Administrator Biden, there might be 5 or 6 that are not for Administrator Biden. They just shut up because they know if they speak up, they'll be canceled. So I'm going to check myself on that one. I'm not going to claim that the radical left is a dominant majority force in the entertainment industry, but they certainly are the members of the ones that keep everybody else quiet. All right. So at the end of this event on the West Coast, Biden freezes. He does he's been doing these every other day. Every time we see him, he has these moments where he doesn't know where he is. He freezes up and people need to come to his rescue to walk him off stage or whatever. Obama himself has to go over, tap him on his wrist and put his arm around Biden and guide him off the stage. All the while, Biden is walking like he's trying to control an EBE, right? The emergency bowel event. Take a look here at the clip with Biden and Obama at the fundraiser in California. Take a look. Well, we might not have that clip right now with us, but it was the one where Biden was being directed off stage by Obama. But I think most of you saw this thing. I posted it on my X account and sent it in to the producers. But we don't. You all probably saw it. But Biden's up there. He freezes, vacant, doesn't know what he's doing. Obama puts his hand around. After all, Obama's really running the show, and he walks him off the stage. So then we have a series of other events that we're embarrassing over in Europe at the G7 event, right? Biden at an air show, paratroopers coming down in their parachutes, and all of the leaders looking at the show. Biden wanders off. We're going to show you that clip when we come back from the other side of the break. But I do want to tell you before we go about an amazing opportunity for you in 2 regards. One, there's a site called liveyoungerwithdoug.us. Liveyoungerwithdoug.us, a revolutionary new patch that reignites your own body's stem cells. Makes you feel younger, makes you look younger, makes you heal faster. Aches and pains gone. More energy in the afternoon. If you ever been struck by the droopies, right? And when your head does that, you're falling asleep in the afternoons. The patch does it all for you. Liveyoungerwithdoug.us. Head over there and get information about it. And if you want to earn extra money with an entrepreneurial spirit, check out that avenue too. Very simple to earn an extra $500 a month if you want to advocate for this patch. and take up that mantle as well. And if you want to go beyond, if you really want to go for it, high dollar. If you want extra money, if you need it in the age of Bidenomics, liveyoungerwithdoug.us. Stay with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back after this break. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. Melissa and I have been taking Bella Grace, this powerful elixir, since last fall, 2023. The results have been amazing. My hands would crack and bleed, deep cuts and cracks every winter for years. No matter what we did, we couldn't get them to stop cracking and bleeding. This year, I took Bella Grace, no cracking, no bleeding. My acid reflux, gone. Haven't had to take a Pepcid. My hair growth, the last 2 times I had my hair cut, the lady had to use thinning shears on my hair. That's amazing. We've also received incredible feedback from you, our listening audience, and the impact it's had for you. This is loaded with astaxanthin. That's a powerful antioxidant. Collagen, but top grade collagen. Studies show 95% of it is being absorbed in the body because of the way they develop it. Then we have something called cat's claw. That's an anti-inflammatory from a vine in Peru. It's the bark, and it's an anti-inflammatory. There are about 80 clinical trials on Bella Grace. Please get a subscription now and save. MelissaHouseBG.com.
Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, where I am fulfilling the meaning of life by entering into your life to make differences for the better. Don't worry, you're doing it for me too. We're in this together. You make my life worth it, and I appreciate you very much being out there as part of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land. Ladies and gentlemen, couldn't do it without you. Coming to you every day, Monday through Friday, right here on worldofyoutube.com, Spreely TV, all of my social media platforms, the website, DougBillings.us, and we get to talk to you now, live. I want you to be able to call in and talk to us. So get in line. Phone lines are open, 901-316-8404, 901-316-8404. You see the number on the bottom of the screen. So last week, ladies and gentlemen, the G7 event going on, Administrator Biden gathers with world leaders, just as he did on D-Day, which he has now rebranded as Diaper Day, or some people call it Dump Day. His accidents and his faux pas and his mistakes are just a daily occurrence. They were bad before, but they're getting worse, and there's no amount of spin that's going to rescue the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, away from all of this. So they were watching a military skydiving event happening, and Biden gets confused. He turns around, he starts walking the other way, and Italy's Giorgia Meloni had to go over there, grab him by the arm, redirect him back to where the action and the event was taking place. So take a look at this clip. Biden wanders off at the G7. There, at least he's able to put on his aviators at the end of all that. At least he has that much self-control. He can put on his sunglasses, right? Probably to hide his eyes because they're bloodshot from all the cocktail of drugs he has to take just to be able to stand up in the field. But it is an abject embarrassment. We cannot. It's so bad the radical left is in panic mode about this. They are genuinely concerned. Now, Biden has all the while been saying he's not going to give up. He's not going to drop out. And I admittedly have been saying to you for the last few months that I didn't think Biden was going to drop out. I think that he was going to stay in it. Now, this is getting so bad that I'm beginning to second guess myself on that one. He's in trouble. It is sad. It's always been sad. And I fluctuate between being sad and feeling sorry for the guy, and then anger at the people putting him through this. And of course, then the theft of it all and how he got into that office in the first place. When you roll it all together and you think about it, it is maddening, and it's above all, it's embarrassing. So at this point, this is all we can expect from him, and it's not going to get any better. Dementia does not get better. There's no amount of spin. There's no amount of damage control that the radical left can do in order to change anything about this. The perception of the American people is absolutely set in stone about this. And that is that Biden is too old for another term. Even ABC News, yes, radicalized left-wing woke ABC News came out with a poll the other day that said 86%, 86%, ladies and gentlemen, of Americans think that Biden is too old for another term. So, in other words, if you took 10 voters off the street of America and lined them up in front of you, 9 of them would say Biden's too old. That's incredible. That is outrageous. And it's going to be ultimately what undoes Biden. Whether or not they pull him, his dementia is going to be what undoes him. It is unraveling. In Russia, I put this up 7 or 8 months ago. I don't have a picture here to show you. You'll have to just trust me. Go onto my social media and look for it. But there are posters in Russia that use Administrator Biden's image to advertise for dementia facilities. Now, my mother died of Alzheimer's disease. I have high sensitivity and compassion and empathy for those who are suffering from it. And that extends, believe it or not, it extends to Administrator Biden. I have a huge amount of sympathy and empathy for him, and it's a sad sight, and it's a sad state of affairs. And we all know he's not running the show. Obama, Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton are at the top of the hierarchy, and there are other minions below doing the work of it all. They are a coalition of immorality. They want this chaos to rain down on purpose upon us, and it's despicable what they're doing. Looks like we've got a caller. Ed in Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed, welcome to the right side. Ed, what's on your mind about all of this?
Well, hi, Doug. I've been watching on multiple channels about our so-called president's condition, and Rod prediction well over a year ago that the Democrats are going to boot him just in time or during the convention. And he didn't say how they're going to do it because he's not part of that group, but he says they're going to have a way to get rid of him. And his prediction is that Michelle Obama will be not the nominee, the winner of the nomination for the Democrat Party. What do you think about that theory?
Yeah, I've heard it, and I'll tell you exactly what I think about it, Ed, and I appreciate the phone call very much. And I'll get your thoughts on what I have to say here about it. But
sure.
Michelle Obama has been bantered about for several years, and I'm just going to Michelle Obama, ladies and gentlemen, has too much baggage, if you know what I mean. She's got too much baggage. They're not going to run her. She doesn't want to run. I don't see that happening. She just... for those of you out there who refer to her as Big Mike, you know what I mean. Too much baggage going on there with her to be a serious contender. Now, on the other hand, some of you might say, well, that would be the poster child, transgender woman in the White House. That would be their absolute poster. It's not going to happen. I don't think. Now, a more realistic substitute, I think, might be Gavin Newsom. And now that I've had to reevaluate my stance, because I didn't think this was going to, early on, a year or so ago, up until about, I would say actually as late as 7 months ago. I thought Biden was going to be in this thing. I thought they're going to run him no matter what. He makes mistakes every day, but I didn't see them yanking him out. Now I'm beginning to believe they might. This kind of thing, what I've shown you here today, cannot continue. It just simply can't continue. So I'm not a believer in Michelle Obama. No disrespect to anybody who thinks Michelle might be the one. I think it's more realistic to assume that someone like a Gavin Newsom may step in. Ed, I'll give you the last word on that.
Okay, I don't have a firm thought one way or the other. I'm just listening and trying to put the facts together. Gavin Newsom has a well-known name. He'd probably be easy to beat because of his destruction of the state of California. He's got this one world government philosophy and the Green Deal stuff marching on forward, and people are seeing the results of it. And if the Republicans are wise, they'll beat him to death with that. It's going to be somebody else. The Michelle Obama thing I always thought was interesting. And, of course, the Big Mike thing, I don't know how much fact there is to it. They could show all these little film clips and this, that, and the other. So I don't know. And it'd be a plus or a minus depending upon who you talk to. Across the nation, I'd say it'd be a big minus if it's really the Big Mike story. So
right.
I don't know, but they're going to pull some stuff. Doesn't matter about primary elections. The Democrats do whatever they want at their convention. They've got all the special rules and all the right people in the right places, so they're going to steal the position and give it to whoever they want. I'm just trying to figure out who it is so I can have a mental story I can tell my friends about why they shouldn't want to vote for whoever this idiot is that they're going to put in Joe's place.
For sure, and that's well thought out, Ed. I appreciate it very much. You're close to, I think, what may really happen. I think whatever happens with Administrator Biden, they're going to give him some kind of a golden parachute. They're going to let him out easy. They're not going to embarrass him any more than he's already embarrassed himself. They will let him out easily, whether it's Michelle. And when you think, I showed, clips of Obama at the beginning of the program. Barack Obama is the one really running the show with help from Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice. So, keep it all in the family, right? Get Michelle in there. And it seems to make sense when you look at it like that. At least what she says publicly is that she's not interested in that. So we'll see. We will see. I think Newsom is right out of central casting with regards to, looking presidential, looking the part, looking the role. But
you went silent.
So thanks, Ed. I appreciate the call very much. God bless you. All right. Good points and a good call. I appreciate you, Ed, so long. Ed's got a good point, and there's a lot of debate about who will. Michelle, of course, she always comes up, and so we'll see. And the Big Mike issue and all of that, I have no proof of that whatsoever. I've seen the same clips that you all have probably seen, those of you that are familiar with the quote-unquote Big Mike issue. I would like to say, if any of you have a picture of Michelle and Barack back in their early days dating when Michelle is pregnant, I'd sure like to see that picture. There hasn't been anything that I've seen, at least, of her, and usually those kinds of things come out. A decent, moderately presented photograph is an appropriate photograph of a family together with a pregnant wife and a husband. I haven't seen such a thing. And it just strikes me as a little odd that presidents and their wives and their families are so well documented. Why not a picture of that? I don't know. I'll leave that one in your court. But Joe's dementia is going to be his undoing. When you look at what's going on in the country, and there's a lot of it, and I speak specifically of the chaos that this radical left communist socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, has thrust upon us. It is all on purpose. There is no accident about what we are experiencing in this nightmare in the United States. It's all purposeful. You can look at the border, you can look at energy price, the lack of energy independence, the food prices, inflation, the debacle in Ukraine, the terrible foreign policy platform, all of it. And I could go on and on and on. This is no accident. It is purposeful. They want these things to happen, but it won't be those things that undoes Biden, because Obama and Hillary and the rest of that coalition of immorality want these things to happen. Remember, they want the chaos to rain down upon us precisely because it thinks it drives people to the government. Chaos for them drives people to the government, whereby then they can say the government will take care of you. Despite the fact that the founding fathers did not want the federal government to be that kind of dependency amongst the American people. The founding fathers envisioned neighbors taking care of neighbors and individual states within the Union taking care of the people within those states, not the federal government. But in the radical left's eyes, the federal government is their God figure. They want you to be dependent upon it. That's why they give away free stuff. That's why they give away entitlements, free food, free housing, free medical care to all of the illegals coming over. They want to enslave them by the free stuff. It all happened and began with FDR. Ladies and gentlemen, the entitlements that are given out do not free you. They temporarily might ease your burden a bit, but in the long run, it's shackles. Shackles to the federal government, all resulting from chaos that the left will purposefully thrust down upon you. So Joe's dementia is accelerating, and it's deteriorating, and it's a big concern. All of those other issues that I mentioned, the border issue, inflation, food prices, energy, whatever, all of those can be fixed, but Biden's dementia cannot. And the communist-socialist hierarchy is not about to give away any kind of chance that their plan that they've put in place since 2015 to get rid of Trump and to birth this resist movement, they're not going to give it up. And if Biden has to step down, they will find a way for him to step down without embarrassing him. And that's it. I think that you think about the other players in the game, they are absolutely ready to pull the trigger, and especially to pull the trigger with regards to President Trump and this lawfare that they have waged against him. Think about it. And when everything that the radical left has done since 2015, remember I showed you the clip, 2015 when Trump comes down that escalator, the resist movement, they're not going to give it up. They're going to keep on pressing that resist movement all the way through lawfare, all the way through kangaroo court and guilty verdicts to the ultimate. And we'll talk about that when we come back. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, DougBillings.us. Head over to the website. Prayerfully consider a recurring monthly donation to the show over there so that we can continue to bring it to you. And I'll be right back after this break. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. I want to thank you for all your support at WVWFoundation.com that helps make possible pushing out 24/7 content for free. Without your support, we'd have to put it all behind a paywall. But thanks to you and your support through our foundation, we're able to push it out for free as a broadcast service and broadcast ministry of WVW Foundation. Please consider going there and setting up an automatic monthly contribution, or go there and make an occasional contribution. If you prefer to support us through the mail, you'll find our mailing address there at WVWFoundation.com. You can also call and make your contribution over the phone by calling 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652. Again, all these details are available at WVWFoundation.com. Thank you for your support as we try to help people around the world understand the times through the lens of a Christian worldview.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that you could change the trajectory of your aging process? Look and feel better, live younger, be more active, less pain when you move around, sleep better, diminish the lines and the wrinkles on your face? Really? This is what I'm telling you. It's possible. You see, low stem cell activity happens when we get older, and it could be causing many of the health problems that some people have in the world today. Because as we get older, we have less stem cell activity, which means we age faster and we heal slower. The secret is a clinically proven and patented phototherapy non-transdermal patch whose technology is the result of over 90 clinical studies and over 20 years of research. Your healthier life can begin today, and you can discover true age reversal. Age reversal, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to liveyoungerwithdoug.us. liveyoungerwithdoug.us, ladies and gentlemen. Get over there today. Or if you'd like, text my name, Doug, to 41372. Doug, text it, 41372, and get over to liveyoungerwithdoug.us. Get younger, feel younger. I'm doing it. I'm wearing this patch. I feel great, and so will you. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Everybody, welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, expressing views, as always, from the side of life, liberty, and logic right here. All of those other issues, all of the other chaos that has been thrust upon us over the last 4 years can be fixed. Biden can't be fixed. And as I was saying before we took the break, the Communist Socialists, formerly known as Democrat Party, you know, the Democrat Party doesn't exist anymore, right? You know that. For those of you that watch the program, they do not exist. Blending communism, socialism together, the Communist Socialist Party, that's what they are. They are not a pro-American political party. And they're not about to give away that they've been thrusting upon us, especially with regards to Trump. After all, that is what's necessary in their eye. That's what's necessary according to Barack Obama, right? Remember, he was the first to say we need to fundamentally transform America away. And what he meant was, when he said the words, we need to fundamentally transform America, what he didn't say, but what he meant was that they want to, this Communist Socialist Party, they want to fundamentally transform America away from the intent of God and the founding fathers. I mean, I can't imagine anybody out there that doesn't see this. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. You're either a blind partisan or a liar if you don't see this. They want to divert away from the inspiration of God, the writing of our documents by the founding fathers. The traditional American republic needs to be transformed in their eyes, and it needs to be transformed away from the divine providence of God. And speaking of that, you wouldn't perhaps know this unless you studied and looked at and researched the writings of the founding fathers, or if you really studied true history and civics, not the stuff that's being taught today that's been watered down by the radical left woke educational systems throughout the country. But when you really look at the founders, every single one of them, even the most liberal, wanted the divine providence of God, theology, religion, the Bible, to be included in study within the public school system in America. You can Google and research early American, colonial American school curriculums, and you see this. Benjamin Franklin wrote about this. All of the founders wrote about it in their private journals, the divine providence of God, the recognition of the Creator in one's personal life, in nature, and in government, and in society. It is not a poverty of thought to suggest that America is, in fact, a nation based in Christian values, Christian nation. We're not a theocracy, absolutely not, but we are intended to be guided by the divine providence of God in everything that we do, personal life, politics, school, work, all of it, society in general. And the radical left will have none of that. That's the fundamental transformation away that Barack Obama was talking about. And I think one of the most glaring examples of that purposeful chaos that we see obviously is the border. And the way that they look at this, the radical left look at it, is they want to do several things. They want to use the chaos of illegal immigration to do several things. To bolster their electoral base is one of them. They want these people to vote. They want to give these people voting rights. They want them to be the new base of their electoral movement, of the communist socialist movement within America. They want that. They also want, by the way, these illegal immigrants to rain down their own chaos on us. These stories that you hear in the news where illegal immigrants are killing people, murdering people, raping, and all of this, it is not by accident. Again, it's part of their plan. That's chaos. And when these things happen, when any amount of chaos happens, mass shootings, murder, illegal immigrant crime, and so forth, it drives people to think, maybe we do need new laws. Maybe we do need to listen to these Democrats, these communist socialists. Maybe they're right. Maybe we need to really listen to them. Maybe the government does need to take better care of us. No. That's what they want. They want you to do that. They want the chaos to rain down upon you. If they wanted to put an end or at least a dent into gun violence, then perhaps the radical left, woke district attorneys and states attorneys general within the blue states in this country would actually try to prosecute criminals with extreme prejudice. To prosecute criminals with extreme prejudice. I'll repeat it. Because they clearly don't do that now. If they are prosecuted at all, they're given light sentences or let out early to perpetrate more crime upon us, more chaos upon us. And I'm hard pressed to be able to be convinced that the radical left hierarchy wants to put an end to this because they want the chaos. Is not evidence of the obvious sufficient for us? Look at what they've done. And then thirdly, with regards to illegal immigration, they want to dilute the American sense of identity, our sense of nationalism. If we as conservatives stand up and are proud of America and our sense of nationalism, and we want to isolate ourselves a bit for a time, perhaps, from Europe or the rest of the world, we're labeled white Christian nationalists or Christian nationalists in general. We are not labeled as American. We are labeled as traitors, and that can't happen. You can't have that kind of pride. There is no such thing as American exceptionalism. If America was not founded on virtue, it was not founded on the divine providence of God. It was slaves, whatever. And it was that reason and many more that they opened the borders to flood us with crime, with chaos, with terror. And if you think that there's not terror groups now that have been let in here who are planning to do massive amounts of harm, you're fooling yourselves. And I am not fear-mongering. I'm telling you to prepare, because there are people in this country now, because of the Biden administration policy at the border, who want to hurt us. And they are making plans to do just that. We are in a nightmare. But as I've said to you time and time again, the good news is that everybody wakes up from nightmares, and we're in the process of that. We are in the process. The horror that has been allowed to happen at the southern border, when I think about it, these are issues that I have to personally compartmentalize. I cannot think about them all of the time because they are disturbing. They are horrific. The assault on our republic, what they're doing, the drug cartels, the illicit and the deadly drugs that are coming over the border in record numbers, criminals infiltrating our country, foreign nationals infiltrating our country, foreign military operatives infiltrating our country, terrorists infiltrating our country, and child traffickers, and the horror of that. and the way that the cartels will victimize people and use them and their victimhood and their lives as trophy pieces. This is horrific, it's medieval, and it's purposeful. And they're not doing a thing to stop it. Now, you know me, always one to give you hope. I'm going to tell you the bad news, but I'm going to give you hope and I'm going to give you good news. This is happening. The radical left woke agenda is affecting the world, and good people throughout the world, conservative people like you and me, and even those who are not conservative, but who look with a realistic eye and with an amount of intellectual maturity at the situation that they're experiencing, and they think to themselves, I may have voted for this left-wing guy last time, but this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what I signed up for at all. I want out of this nonsense. And so you see it in Europe, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, an intense and huge tidal wave of conservatism sweeping the planet. And it's happening here too. You can sense it. Now, you don't get any peek of this on the Legacy News. You will not see any mention of this on social media platforms. In fact, the radical left woke mob will go to great lengths to countermeasure all of what I'm telling you. Oh, Billings is a radical. He's a threat to our democracy. He's nuts. You can't. Biden is the best thing that's ever. I'm going to vote for. What am I going to do? You expect me to vote for a felon? Never mind that the felony convictions are temporary, ladies and gentlemen, and they are. But the nut jobs out there won't let you see or hear the truth. And when they say things like Billings is a threat to democracy, or when anything's a threat to democracy, do you notice something? They never say the truth. We're not a democracy. I see on X, especially the kooks, the kook celebrity class, from Babs Streisand to meathead Rob Reiner to Mark Hamill to Robert De Niro, all of them, right? Doug Billings a threat to democracy. We're not a democracy. And they never say the truth. They never say the right word. Republic. We are a republic, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it's because say it. They're scared of what you represent, ladies and gentlemen. You are rising up in numbers that we haven't seen in decades, in generations. And this great reawakening back to the divine providence of God is something that we haven't seen, quite frankly, since the time of the Founding Fathers or shortly thereafter. And even then, what we're experiencing now is bigger than what they had then. This is the truth, and this is the good news that I see all around the country. I have been to the border. Tomorrow, we're going to have a woman on the program by the name of Christy Hutcherson. She goes down to the border. She goes behind the border. She goes behind enemy lines. Well, I went down with her about 18 or 19 months ago to McAllen, Texas, a border town. Tom Holman, the former director of ICE, was with us. And he actually said the line that's being used all over the media today is, because of the influx of this illegal immigration crisis, every state in the United States is now a border state. Those are the words of Tom Holman. And he's right. Every state in the union is now a border state. Massive deportations are necessary. I know that President Trump has promised that. Just down the road in my home state in Missouri, there's a gentleman running for governor, Bill Eigel. If you're in Missouri, I encourage you to check him out. And if you're not, support him, because he's a template of what you need in your state for governorship. Massive deportations. No more foreign governments buying United States land. What is wrong with these whack job liberal commu-socialists who are allowing China or any foreign country to come in and buy United States farmland? We've got to put an end to this kind of. This is what is happening, and it is their intent to dilute us, to dilute our land, to dilute our national identity, to take away our American pride and our dignity. But in Europe, they're fighting, and they are working their way out of it, just as we will. Give yourselves permission to believe it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I am told I'm up against another break where you get to go have a great time in the land of capitalism. But before I let you go, DougBillings.us, ladies and gentlemen. The brand new website is up and out. You can go check it out. Still a little thing, a little bit of a work in progress over there. We're going to have things coming to you like the Right Side Memo. We're going to give you special news. For those of you that sign up and with a recurring monthly donation, you'll get special perks, private meetings, private Zoom calls with me on a monthly basis. You'll get to see me on a Zoom call, on a Skype call, on a monthly basis, right there live. We will meet with as many people as want to show up. DougBillings.us, but we also need your help to continue to produce the show. This is what I do for a living, to bring you the truth. 4 years ago, I started the show to bring you the truth. I don't want to stop. I'll be right back after this break. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. Melissa and I have been taking Bella Grace, this powerful elixir, since last fall, 2023. The results have been amazing. My hands would crack and bleed, deep cuts and cracks every winter for years. No matter what we did, we couldn't get them to stop cracking and bleeding. This year, I took Bella Grace, no cracking, no bleeding. My acid reflux, gone. Haven't had to take a Pepcid. My hair growth, the last 2 times I had my hair cut, the lady had to use thinning shears on my hair. That's amazing. We've also received incredible feedback from you, our listening audience, and the impact it's had for you. This is loaded with astaxanthin. That's a powerful antioxidant. Collagen, but top grade collagen. Studies show 95% of it is being absorbed in the body because of the way they develop it. Then we have something called cat's claw. That's an anti-inflammatory from a vine in Peru. It's the bark, and it's an anti-inflammatory. There are about 80 clinical trials on Bella Grace. Please get a subscription now and save. MelissaHousebg.com.
You guys, I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a special on here, Brandon. You're the first one that is showing this right now. That Percale Sheets, remember that we had a box store canceled their order again. Okay, those Percale Sheets, you see the original price there on the King or on the Queen. I believe it's, I can't read.
$99.98.
And then they were on sale on TV for much?
$39.98.
Now they're $34.98. So you take, and same with the King, you have $119 on sale everywhere in the country for $49.98. Here for the Brandon for B66, $39.98. This is the lowest price you're going to see forever. This is it, the MyPillow bed sheet sale there. And then if you back it up, you guys. And then you're going to see also that, remember the extravaganza with the $25 MyPillows? This is where it all started. We've sold over 83 million MyPillows, the premium there with now with the new Giza Tick. Doesn't matter if it's King or Queen, $25, any loft level. You guys, this is what keeps my factory going. This helps everybody, okay? And it helps you get the best sleep in history.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Shoulder to shoulder with you, I am. You and me, shoulder to shoulder, working our way through this nightmare. And we're going to discover, I'm telling you, because of the great reawakening that we're experiencing, we're going to rediscover what God intended us to in this country. The wonder, the joy, the meaning of the freedoms and the liberties that he promised us and that the founding fathers codified in our founding documents. We are going to get through this. And I want to say it again. America is not on her deathbed. We are not. Now, we're in a nightmare, no doubt about it. But 6% over Biden nationally, 6%. Not a small deal at all, 6% numbers. And in the battleground states, he's leading Biden. In all of Georgia, the Democratic National Committee has pulled out of Georgia, not spending any money there. Now, you don't do that unless you realize you've already lost the state. So Trump is surging. The political martyrdom that he has experienced as a result of the verdicts that came down and out of the kangaroo court in New York have bolstered him. And yes, I fully anticipate that they will put him in jail. Again, You can't convince me that this radical left woke mob of commu-socialists, formerly known as Democrat Party, are going to just let go of the issue now that they've convicted him on these bogus charges and temporary charges, ladies and gentlemen. It's all going to be overturned, but they're not going to let it go. Why would you, if you're them, why would you not go to the nth degree? Why wouldn't you go across the goalpost? They're going to put him in jail. Absolutely, that's my opinion. And his political martyrdom will then soar even higher. I know full well that radical left members of that party watch this program and they troll me. And you would think, because I've given them free advice worth millions of dollars, I might add, if they were smart, they'd stop. Look, the political lawfare that they're waging, do you think that there is any winning element of that strategy? Is there any evidence at all that they are winning in that strategy? I wonder if that's why people like James Carville and Bill Maher and other radical left, even Piers Morgan, who's not radically left, but left enough, they're all thinking to themselves and saying publicly, by the way, we got to change course. This is ridiculous. We're losing. Bill Maher out there saying we're gonna lose. So we're winning. They know it. And it is absolutely beautiful to behold. 901-316-8404. If you want to get in before we have to say goodbye to each other, ladies and gentlemen, we might have one more minute or so left for a phone call. But if not, remember, make a note. 901-316-8404 is the number that you can call in. President Trump, a big decision with the vice presidency. Who is he going to pick? J.D. Vance of Ohio getting a lot of attention. He could shore up a lot of what Trump is after in the Electoral College because of his appeal to the Rust Belt in this country and all of the battleground states, all of them, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, you look at Arizona to a degree, Georgia, all of those. J.D. Vance and he's a great debater, and he's smart. He's quick on his feet, which of course is not what Kamala Harris is. So if we have vice presidential debates, you would like to think that J.D. Vance could clean up in those debates against Kamala. So I think that we're in for perhaps a J.D. Vance vice president. I don't know. Your guess at this point is as good as mine. I like J.D. Vance. He's always been loyal to Trump, beginning back in the days of the pandemic and all of that. But he's brand new. He's out of Ohio, first term senator, and I think he would bolster President Trump's standing in the Electoral College, which of course is what we're all after, the brilliant mechanism by which the founders gave us. So you look at that, you look at the Rust Belt, you look at what appeal he would have in the battleground states, and President Trump, I think, is leaning towards him. He's been vetted, he's got the paperwork, and he's turning it in. So J.D. Vance is somebody to keep your eyes on. I know there's a lot of Barack Ramaswamy fans out there. Give up on Nikki. Look, it's not going to be Haley. For all of you that are remnants of the Nikki Haley campaign, never, ever going to happen. Not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. She was never our friend. The true conservative out there would never. She's not one of us. So look for J.D. Vance, and we will see. But ladies and gentlemen, let me just leave you with this. Again, a lot of despair out there, a lot of fear, a lot of the unknown. Remember, the ultimate progress that we make resides in your hands. We, the people, have always been the plan to restore this country. It's not even Donald Trump's job. It's your job at the local level. Pay attention to the local level in your community, in your state, in your county. It's what I call determined patriotism. It's the hard work of it all. Determined prayer, of course, is involved in all of that. But the hard work is, nobody wants to come home from work and go and sit through a 3-hour school board meeting. I get it. We don't want to do that's not our default, right? We don't default to that. But we've got to, and maybe perhaps now some of you are defaulting to that because the lives and the education, the well-being and the future of your children depend on your involvement in the local level. And within the local level, you are doing it. You are taking over. Vet the candidates who are running in your county as Republicans. If they want to put an R behind their name, vet them. Make sure they earn that R because there's a rhino problem. Democrats put an R behind their name because they know they can't win otherwise, and they get in. DougBillings.us, ladies and gentlemen, stay in touch with me, please. DougBillings.us. billings.us. Head over there, prayerfully consider a recurring monthly donation to the program. I'll see you right back here Monday through Friday, 5 to 6, live, and then when I take your calls. We're going to be okay. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Republic. Cheers.
Thank you for joining me today. We've really had an incredible week of news, haven't we? And again, the excitement of living in this day and time. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't trade this day and time for anything. Yeah, I'm concerned because I'm watching America collapse. I'm concerned because I'm seeing danger all around the world. I watch a lot of news, as you can probably tell. But the other thing is I read a lot of Bible. And the Bible really encourages me. And so today, I'm going to look at the idea, is Israel in danger? And the reason I say that is because, as you know, I love traveling to Israel. I've been there about 70 times. And I have many friends there. I love the land of Israel. I love the God of the land of Israel. I love the Jewish people. And I love the people in the Middle East. I've got great friends that are Arabs. I've got great friends that are Jews. And so as I look at the conditions in the world, a question that I get asked is Israel in danger? And I want to try to answer that by looking at both the current events, and I want to go to the book of Isaiah. I'm sure by now you realize that I really enjoy the book of Isaiah. Matter of fact, I'm going to use two different Bibles because I have a study Bible, I have a read-through Bible, and I've made notes in both of them. And today, as I answer the question, is Israel in danger, I'm going to try to use both of these Bibles. But why would that question even be asked today? Well, part of it is because Israel is such a small geographical piece of ground. And we've heard people say from the river to the sea, and they talk about displacing Israel. And wow, we've quoted people that aren't even conservatives, aren't even Christians, like Bill Maher. And he says, wait a minute, it does belong to Israel. And God certainly says it belongs to Israel, so that settles it for me. But the rest of the world looks on. And sometimes they're concerned for Israel out of a good heart, and sometimes they're concerned for Israel, almost wishing that they would be gone, because some people said that most of the trouble in the world is due to Israel. The United Nations believes that. The International Court believes that. I don't. I believe that the reason that God is kind to humanity and kind to the world as a whole is Israel, and not just now, but later after the tribulation in the millennial kingdom, we'll see what a benefit Israel is to the whole world. Don't get me wrong, they benefit us now. The technology, the medicines, all these things. And so they're a blessing. Matter of fact, isn't that what Genesis 12:3 says? I will bless them that bless thee. I will curse those who curse thee. And that's a promise of God. Is Israel in danger? Well, if you just looked at the news for the last 24 hours, you'd say, wow, who knows if they're going to exist? Let's take a peek at that news, and then let's take a look at the book of Isaiah. For example, here was the headline in the last couple of days. June the 12th, massive red alerts across the north. I'm sure you've heard me mention on several occasions that I have a little app on my phone, and every time there's a missile that goes off or a plane that flies into Israel, I get an alarm, I get a warning. And it was incredible because yesterday, over 50 came in about a 3-minute span. I mean, just boom, 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 boom. And I have a way to pull up a map and I can see exactly where these missiles were aimed for. I know the places there very well. And so, look, more than 50 red alerts were triggered across northern Israel. And then, tonight, the night we just finished, starting at 2:30 in the morning, wow, it started, the alarms went off, and more than 50, maybe 75 or 80. So over 100 in the last 24 hours. That's incredible. Remember this, that these are coming out of the north. Matter of fact, here's a map that shows you the little red flags I get for the missiles, so you kind of know I can station the city. Some of the roads I've been down a number of times in a tour bus, in a private car, and I know where those places are. Yeah, will Israel make it? Relax, Israel will make it. But you can see why the people are concerned. And not only that, Israel now is beginning to retaliate back. Here's why I say that. Because you see, they actually have a war going on several fronts. One is south in Gaza against Hamas. One is Syria, openly against China. I'll show you why I say that. China, Russia, and Iran. And one on the north against Hezbollah. Really, all these are sponsored by Iran. Bible word Persia, you'll see why that's important from Isaiah chapter 45 in just a moment. But I want you to know that the Bible is so relevant to today. And so take a look at not only the map that shows these 50 red targets, but another 70 or 100 that came today already. And now watch this. This is as Israel says, okay, if you're going to fire missiles from there on a continual basis, we're going to take that spot out. Watch the video proof that that's exactly what they've done. You would think that when Hezbollah sees that when they fire repeated missiles from a particular location, that Israel is going to try to destroy that launcher and that weapons site. And you just saw a video proof that that's exactly what they're doing. They should do that. But it's also incredible to me that they've seen what's going on with Hamas. Why do they continue to fight? It's because that's the hatred that is there. I have video clips of ladies saying, you know, we live in Lebanon. We can hardly wait for them to give us permission to go and to destroy the Jews. Why? What have the Jews done? Continually, the small land of Israel is being invaded by every country, and they even get support. It's unbelievable that would continue. But at the same time that this is all going on, at the heat of this battle, when over 100 rockets have gone, here is the Secretary of State of the United States going to push toward a Gaza ceasefire. Now, you've heard my comments before on the ceasefire. Why are they asking Israel to ceasefire? If Hezbollah would stop firing, then there would be a ceasefire. But as long as Hezbollah fires rockets and Hamas fires rockets, there can't be a ceasefire. So here's Blinken. He's trying to get a ceasefire with Gaza, with Hamas. And so he put forward a deal. And to everyone's surprise, guess what? Israel said, yeah, we'll go for that. But unbelievable. Then Hamas came back and said, okay, we have amendments. Yeah, the amendments were unacceptable to everybody. Isn't it amazing? You see, I don't know that Hamas wants peace because they're making so much money with the war. Hezbollah, I don't know that they want peace. They're making money with the war. They're willing to lose a few hundred, a few thousand citizens because the money is so good. War is big business for some people. And so here's the poor Secretary of State. You can take that either way you want to. And he's trying to negotiate a ceasefire with Hamas. That's an impossible task. They might agree to it. By morning, it'll probably change. And so here he is again. And among the things that he announces, this is taking place in Jordan, the neighbor of Israel just to the east. And among the things that he expresses there is that how come people have provided very little or nothing to the sufferings of the Palestinian people? Isn't it amazing that nobody besides America wants to help the Palestinian people? Egypt doesn't want them. Jordan doesn't want them. Lebanon doesn't want them. None of the Muslim countries want them. They're not offering sanctuary to any one of them. Not a single Palestinian is getting sanctuary in these countries, these Islamic countries. Something's quite unusual about that. And so what he does, he goes, and Blinken now says, okay, I'm going to give $404 million more of aid to the Palestinians. Wait a minute. We're funding both sides of the war. We're helping Israel with weapons. We're giving the Palestinians humanitarian aid. We're actually supporting Hamas. We've opened the door for Hamas to even raise money in our country. These things are unbelievable. I couldn't make these things up. And now, guess what? Listen to it, because the price tag of $404 million is big. It's huge. But that's the tip of the iceberg. Listen as he scolds the other countries because no one else is stepping up. That tells you something about how bad they really want to help the Palestinian people. This is a mirage. The protest that the college students have, it was funded by an outside source. Some of them, and we proved it with video clips I've shown you, they don't even know what river we're talking about. They don't know what sea we're talking about. They're out there having a good time. But listen to this economic statement, and I think it'll reveal to you how crazy funding the Palestinian relief effort is, because it may be going just directly into the pockets of Hamas, Hezbollah, and eventually Iran.
It is time for everyone to step up. And for those who have already given, and given generously, give more. The United States has for decades been the largest single country provider of assistance for Palestinians. Today, I'm announcing an additional $404 million in new aid to Palestinians, in addition to the more than $1.8 billion in development, economic, and humanitarian aid that the United States has provided since 2021. It is time for everyone.
Unbelievable. 1.8 billion, another 0.4 billion, and we're not helping anyone. It's going right to the wrong people. It's going into Hamas's hands. We watched that with the floating dock they had. Didn't help the Palestinians at all. Relief is still coming the same way, basically through Israel. The humanitarian aid that was brought in caused riots. And some of the Palestinian people said, stop sending it because the Hamas leaders are getting it. You get the picture? The world is tilted against Israel, even though Israel is the subject of their continual rockets and fire. Well, it doesn't stop there, because I want to show you that on the Lebanon border, we now have proof. Here are the pictures, including videos, that China is there. Watch this enlightening video clip to show you that the big powers of the world, for some reason, the Middle East is like a magnet. It draws the big powers in.
Friendship with common efforts through the recent evaluation. Secretly in the camp, not? Yes, I do. Oh. Here.
Is it complete? So complete, okay. So can you have
家人急救盒
有在那个 How many patients here?
这里军官医疗军5
Talk to all of them about the.
Did you notice the sign? China is here for peace. Now, who's attacking Lebanon? See, it's the other way around. Lebanon is attacking Israel. Who's attacking Hezbollah? It's the other way around. Hezbollah is attacking